Welcome everyone to another episode of Peek Under the Hood at House at Cuz. Uh, we have a full crowd today. So we have Naveen, Lalit, Kishore, Bhuvan, and I'm your host Prashant for this call. And I hope you enjoyed our last video of Peek Under the Hood where we gave a comprehensive review of IPL 2025. Today we're going to do that with World Cup 2026, right? That is just finished. And I hope you enjoy this. And if you do, please leave us some comments about how what you like, what you didn't like, so that we can incorporate that. And yeah, as always, please like, share, and subscribe to our videos. And we hope that you continue to like this series and you will give us some love. So let's get started. How are you feeling, guys, about the World Cup 2026?
It was
Good that we
b-
won it.
That's true. That's true.
Mm.
Uh,
simple and to the point, I
yeah.
guess.
Uh, Yeah, let's just quickly go through some numbers so that we understand overall. We want to set a picture about, how the World Cup happened, who performed, who didn't, and we can give you like a very short sneak review, not a preview of how the tournament went. So yeah, Kishore, take it up.
Yeah, so the first stat is what is the overall average of the tournament and what are the run rate for the whole tournament, like how quickly people were scoring and how many runs they were scoring per wicket. So it's pretty decent when you when compared to previous editions, but yeah, so
Yeah.
this is where we are at.
So this is the fastest scoring tournament, by
Yeah.
the way. I think the second fastest tournament was
Mm.
2007
Same.
T20 World Cup. So
Yeah.
this is and 2024 was one of the slowest scoring World Cups.
Yeah.
So it's a
That
huge increase
was
from.
that was because of courtesy US wickets.
Definitely, that is courtesy of New York wickets,
Yeah.
so we can
Yeah,
blame Lalit for that.
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I take it.
Yeah.
I was the curator there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
and the next one is per nation. Like there are two nations that hosted this tournament. So in India, you see the run rate is higher and average is higher, whereas in Sri Lanka it is a bit lower. But it's not the comparison is not that bad. 0.8 is not that bad. That bad
uh,
of a difference.
But I
but
think
over here,
average
average is a big
Average,
drop,
average
right?
yeah,
six
average a
run
big drop.
difference is a
Yeah,
big drop.
big drop.
Yeah. Is it because so this again means that more number of
Yeah,
wickets went down in Sri
yeah,
Lanka,
Sri
Sri
right?
Lanka. Yeah,
Lanka.
when you
Yeah.
compare to the wickets that went in that in India.
So this is yeah. So we probably, but if you look at the type of dismissal, I'm guessing in Sri Lanka the type of dismissal is mostly caught. So that talks to the ground dimensions, I'm guessing, because
No,
because
also I
of
think bold, right? I mean, also the thing is, I think they went that Indian test route of let's put out spinning tracks, and that kind of worked against them as well in a way.
oh
Where
to the
Mm.
okay, you're saying as a ground too,
Yeah.
could be.
yeah,
But I felt like I at least this was an eye test more than the number
Mm.
itself. I can, but it felt like there were a lot of catches, and
Yeah, I
because
mean,
some
we
point players
can
dimensions are
have to touch.
bigger
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
Sri
dimensions
Lanka. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
dimensions are
yeah.
bigger. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely true. Yeah, moving ahead. Yeah, this is again per stadium
Per
how they were.
stadium.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
per stadium, how many runs were scored by in each stadium, and what was the average, and what is the run rate per over? And I think
It
Chennai
is
is the most surprising one.
It is concerning for CSK looking ahead at the IPL. I mean, average of 35 with the economy of 9.41 is it's not doing good. Highest economy.
Don't worry, you have Brevis, Dubey, Matre, and Sanju now. Who
No,
have to carry
but
through.
the thing is, this has to be that CSK SRS model of you score 250 and restrict the team at 249,
Yeah.
And I
which
think,
But
is not that good.
yeah.
Whistle Podo Sanju coming off is what you're saying.
And I think for me, the surprising thing is Delhi, considering Delhi is a smaller ground, but still. So this is where every time, Delhi, even Delhi team doesn't know what to prepare. Like sometimes it's slower, and sometimes it's really high scoring. So the World Cup was low scoring. We'll have to see how it'll fare in the IPL.
Are there any matches that outlie CSK so much? Sorry, Chennai so much?
No, every game in Chennai
Uh,
went for a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Chennai,
nothing.
I
even the two Afghanistan matches that happened against South Africa and New Zealand, both were
Yeah.
180s right out of the bat. And I
no
think every
South Africa Afghanistan was in Narendra Modi Stadium.
oh yeah, sorry, only the New Zealand was in
New Zealand
Chennai.
was in Chennai.
Yeah.
Chennai, yeah, but that was
And
180,
Yeah.
180
Even
affair.
the yeah, I think they were all when the India game, right? 250, where
Yeah,
India scored
250.
Zimbabwe.
250,
Yeah,
Zimbabwe.
yeah,
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
But as you can see, but there is a significant difference between even Sinhalese SSC, Colombo and Pallekele, right? Like there's
yeah.
a zero point 0.6 runs difference between SSC and Pallekele. And I think is that because of the dew that happened in the second innings, which made batting easier in Pallekele?
Yeah, I think that was the reason why. Like the dew at like in that, I think that was the third venue where they played the Karabi, where a lot of dew was there and chasing was a lot more easier in that stadium. So yeah,
Mm, definitely. Uh, yeah, if we were to see batting stats team wise, yeah, you can clearly see that India has the highest run rate. But again, what is the most biggest surprise takeaway for you guys?
for me it was the West Indies, the
West
average. I
Indies, yeah.
didn't. Yeah. So yeah, but the thing is the difference between the highest scoring team and the lowest scoring team, like India within only the semi-final and final scored nearly 500 runs, and the lowest scoring team scored only 466, which is like that's a big gulf that you see. The two lowest scoring teams scored far more less than what India team scored in both semi-finals and finals. So that is one thing. And one more thing, I didn't think England was the second highest run getter, so that surprised me a bit because I thought they played all their group eight. Like the group eight stages were in Sri Lanka, and that was one more thing that surprised me, that they, even though they played uh, bulk of the matches over there, they still they were at second highest run scoring.
But
That is
that
right.
I
Hmm.
think that has to do with more the opposition than the stadium.
No, also
But
you can say that the bulk lifting of Salt and Butler is so much that they couldn't score that much. So whole tournament Salt and Butler didn't perform and their batting just didn't do that much.
where England's group stage, where did they play their group
They
stage?
played
India.
India.
Wankhede and Kolkata.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eden.
maybe some part of that is coming up. But yeah, Super 8,
Mm.
even though they played in Sri Lanka, it's a little good one.
Mm.
But if you see 36.52 standing out at the highest, I think that is South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Everyone expected it to be the close. I mean, it was the second best team. I think a lot of
Yeah,
as well
more
accept
about
about
South
it.
Africa in the review call that we'll be doing. You can find the link in
Uh,
the description below. But yeah,
It
But
also,
yeah,
I think the stat also skews because they lost the least amount of wickets. Like Markram stayed like quite a lot till the end.
Yeah, I think
yeah, yeah.
if you see the next slide for the batters, you'll see what Markham has done. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah,
sorry, just if you could go back to that slide. This also shows like my top four teams for the tournament were India, West Indies, South Africa, New Zealand. And that shows in this graph, saying that, I mean, quite a lot of, they did perform pretty decently compared to any other team in the tournament.
So there are
yeah,
five teams above ninth, and these amongst them the four teams that you're talking about are there.
yeah,
yeah.
I think
But Lalit, you were talking something about South Africa when I interrupted you.
No,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying that it did perform like the second best team. As you said, a review
Yeah,
is going to come, and please like, share, and subscribe, and leave your comments about each of the teams that we're talking about. But yeah, looking at this number, the way it ended, all the more makes it a little more disappointing.
yeah, very true, very true. But like we said, if we go to the individual batters, and yeah, if we can quickly run through what we are trying to cover here on the
yeah.
individual batters.
So what we have done is basically we have taken the percentage of runs they scored for the team and percentage of overs they faced for the team, and the run rate as we have calculated instead of strike rate. What we have done is we've calculated it as a run rate. So it's like how many runs they were scoring per over. When they were facing it, the difference overall run rate is like what is the tournament run rate and how quickly they were scoring compared to that one.
Yeah. So over
So
here, every batter is significantly better than the tournament run rate.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm. Interesting.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
these are the top 15 batters,
Yeah,
three,
top
yeah,
15 if I'm
15,
not wrong.
yeah,
Top
Yeah,
top
15
15,
batters.
top
Yeah.
15
yeah,
batters, and everyone is better than the tournament run rate.
yeah.
And
So
you can see how well Jax did. Sorry, plug in for Slim Shady over here.
Slim
yeah,
But
Shady
like
has to be.
Jax had a phenomenal tournament. Although I'm doubtful about Shanaka. Yeah.
Why is
yeah.
Farhan such an outlier?
No, because that is the
Because
thing,
he's
right? He played a lot of deliveries, but he also scored bulk of his team's runs. So if you remove Farhan out of their World Cup, there is nothing in Pakistan batting. So if without him they only scored 600 runs, yeah, so they scored 1048 runs, and out of which nearly 383 was scored by Farhan.
Yeah.
Amazing. That
you
is massive. I
you
mean,
can like here Naveen's theory works with Farhan that more than 40 balls you should not play. Like
but at
Maybe.
the same
he
time,
he,
no
he
one else also
slowed down.
scored, right?
Yeah, but he used to like take his times, own sweet time, score runs, and so that is
Yeah.
where they needed that explosive start that they didn't get.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay,
shout
I
out to
let me
Slim.
let me put out what the theory actually says. Yeah, but for me, or I mean, I've heard a lot of statisticians, be it uh, I forget his name, the uh, uh, Jared Kimber is one, and then there is another one who generally state that you shouldn't play more than 40 balls in a T20 innings because that is like one third of the total resources because T20 is a very resource
Yeah.
limited sport. So if you play more than 40 balls, you should strike more than 220, 230 strike rate. Else, yeah, you are kind of in a way, what do we call it?
Net negative.
Yeah, it is a net negative effect.
But
So
Okay.
the
So this
problem
is
with
what I
Farhan
will.
is the team that he's playing in. If not for him, there would have been nothing for them. Like considering the form that all the other Pakistani batters were in
Yeah.
throughout that tournament, if
yeah,
not for
maybe
him,
that this theory works for more for India, South Africa,
yeah,
West Indies.
And
So
yeah,
this
exactly.
is it.
Depends on the team also, right?
So
Now, also,
Pakistan, the chicken and egg problem.
and
Whether
also
should
look
he?
at the two bars, right? What we are doing over here is that we are normalizing the runs and overs, right? When we are
Yeah.
normalizing the runs and overs, so for example, take someone like Tim Seifert. The percentage of overs he faced was the percentage of the runs he scored is the same. So with him or without him, his team is scoring at a similar is a thing,
Yeah.
right? So we are
Dubey,
saying
Dubey is the perfect.
Dubey, even though Dubey's impact is very high, the
yeah,
percentage of overs he faced was the percentage of runs he scored in terms of average. Again, here we are
yeah,
talking about the number of runs, but not the strike rate.
Yeah,
It is at a rate where the team is actually striking or the team is
Yeah.
actually making. But Saib Sada Farhan's delta is positive.
Yeah.
Even with all of it, his delta is positive, which
Yeah.
means that in the percentage of overs he's facing, he's scoring the percentage of runs more than his teammates.
No, fair. Fair.
yeah,
Although, yeah, fair. But I think, and this is something that we are working on. We are trying to come up with better way to showcase this, like in terms of impact, in terms of how much was his impact. Like, not
yeah,
every knock can be net negative, right? Because he's also playing in Sri Lanka. Those
yeah.
pitches are tired. Those pitches are turning, and how the entire match situation plays out is very different. We,
And this is my shout out to those things. So batters who I think strike rate in India should be normalized by 20% to match out of Sri Lanka. Or in a different way, a strike rate of 160 in Sri Lanka seems to be a strike rate of 180 based on how the tournament went.
Yeah.
definitely, and
And,
he's
and I
stuck
think,
at 160.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think one more shout out for me would be Raza. I think Raza, along with Bennett, Raza played a beautiful tournament for
Yep.
Zimbabwe, considering
Yep.
what they have done. I
Yeah,
think Raza
absolutely.
was a standout performer for them.
Yeah,
Considering, like, if you see the delta of him is even more bigger
Yep.
yeah,
when you compare to others. So that was where I think, and
Yeah.
the reason why India won is clearly stated, like the two biggest deltas that we have are coming from the 2 and 3 batters. Where you see that is where I think the India, even though India started with the wrong team, they ended up with the right team at the right moment
And
to
they
win
win.
the tournament.
Absolutely. And the
absolutely.
last shout out though, Slim Shady coming at number 6 and number 7, having that kind of impact is insane. He
Mm.
is
Yeah,
positive and he's scoring about 17% of his team runs,
yeah,
which I did not expect that
yeah,
it would be that remarkable, actually.
Yeah.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
also with
And
the ball.
and
Yeah.
also with the ball,
The ball. We'll come to that
which will come to
next.
the
Yeah.
next.
Good
By the
plug-in.
way, sorry, Shanaka's outlier is only one match, is it?
Two
Or
games.
Yeah.
Two
Two
games.
Two
There is a
games.
50, 50
Two
of
games.
20 balls,
I
53
I
of
think
But
20
one was
balls.
against Oman or
Yeah,
something,
Oman.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
was that Pakistan match
Pakistan
that he
match.
played.
Where he
yeah,
almost
last
won them.
match.
He essentially ensured Pakistan cannot come through.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
if not for that losing his mind and trying to go for that reverse lap or reverse sweep like
They
Miss
would have
did in
won.
2007, they would have
I
won.
I fair enough, but
Yeah,
I don't think that inning should be counted. But okay,
yeah.
uh, we come to best bowlers. Yeah,
Yeah, for bowlers, what we have done is we have taken their wickets, their average, and their economy, and what we have done is we have compared with overall what is the overall economy, and we compared their average, and we have subtracted it, and then that is why you see the negative numbers where we are trying to what is the overall and how better they perform, like how better they performed against it. So if you take the overall average for bowlers versus you subtract the average of the bowler, that is what the pink line is stating.
yeah. So if you see, I think Bumrah is somewhere around 12,
Yeah.
minus 12 in terms of bowling average and minus
Yep.
3 in terms of economy. So that's how much better he was than other bowlers in the tournament.
But shout out to Van Schaik, the only bowler better than Bumrah in that
Yeah,
metric.
Yeah.
short of
But
the
that's
match well.
that's only
Who has-
because of three matches, right?
He took 13
Yeah,
wickets in
yeah,
3
he
matches.
took
See,
13
Yeah,
wickets.
he
And
took
he
five
played
against India, five against
four,
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 four.
four
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 against
against
India,
India,
four
four
against
against
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Yeah, and he did it in four. Like he took 13 wickets in, like you said, in 4 matches.
Just,
Yeah.
And also you can see how Varun's tournament went, right? Like
Yeah.
Varun
I'm surprised
actually
he's
ended
not
up.
positive.
He's not. He's gone above the rate.
Yeah,
Right? He's gone above the
he's
rate. I think.
just gone just above the overall economy of the
Yep.
tournament.
No, no, I'm
Yeah.
surprised it's not positive, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, more positive
Okay,
is what
okay,
you're
more
saying, right?
positive. Yeah.
I think until the group stages he was still
He
very
was
good, right? I
Too
very
think
good,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Group
Yeah,
stages,
yeah.
he was like similar to his numbers were similar to that of
Sorry, until
Bumrah.
Super 8s. I mean,
Yeah, until Super 8. Yeah,
he
in
was
group
good.
stages, his numbers were similar to that of Bumrah in
Bumrah.
terms of striking or the overall
Yeah.
the economy was that one
Yeah.
all if you compare. But in Super 8s, after Super 8s is where it all of a sudden it jumped for him.
And the other shout out is you see
Jofra.
bowlers. Bowlers who bowled in Sri Lanka, which is Muzrabani, Rashid, Ravindra, Tikshana, Usman Tariq, Brad Evans, right? They've had very good tournaments,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So yes, the pitches aided them, but also they bowled well, but the pitches also aided them because you can see
Also,
how
how
better
shit
they
is
bowled.
Jofra
But
Archer?
but
Also,
even
how
after
shit
that,
is South Jafra
yeah.
Archer.
But
Yeah.
even after that, this tournament I felt fast bowlers had made more impact. Even though considering the tournament happened in India and Sri Lanka,
Yes,
fast bowlers had far more impact when you
Exactly.
compare to spinners,
exactly.
Apart
That
from
is.
which
Jofra
was a
Archer.
bit.
Apart,
I'll plug in this player again later, but what a great way to make an impact silently. Akshar Patel. Call out to him.
Yeah,
yeah,
No one would speak about Akshar Patel in this World
yeah.
Cup as a standout, but you can see how silently he's
For me,
still
that
doing
would
it for.
be Ngidi. I mean, the
Engidi,
least spoken.
No.
you'll definitely shout out. I think Engidi will be a shout out.
So
Engidi will be a shout out.
Ngidi
Engidi will
uh,
make it to
to
the.
the team of the tournament.
Team of the
Again,
tournament.
stay tuned for that video, which will come out soon. And once again, please like, share, and subscribe to all our work so that you can stay tuned to what we keep putting out.
And also
Sorry.
Akshar is the second best bowler, right? When you compare the overall numbers, he was better than Varun for India throughout the
Yeah.
tournament. Even though he
Tournament.
didn't play a couple of games, if I'm not wrong, or
Yep.
one or two
And
games he didn't play.
he ended up taking 11 wickets. No one
Yeah.
remembers that
Yeah.
he could. He took those many number of wickets.
No,
He
the
took
other
11 wickets.
reason for India winning is the bowling, right? If you
The-
see, you
Yeah.
have three bowlers amongst the top. I mean, even if Varun had a very poor second half of the tournament, Akshar picked up, and Akshar had such a great tournament, a finish of the tournament that you can see why India won the tournament.
Yeah. So this is where it surprised me that New Zealand only had Rachin and none of the other bowlers. I'm like, so this is where
It didn't
considering,
surprise me, but
yeah, but only because only Rachin, but Rachin is also like it's like if you see his performance in the group stage was not great. A lot of his impact came in Super 8s when they played in Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
So,
Yep.
so even though they're not that well, but this is where it shows that New Zealand are a very good containing team, but they're not a lot striking team. So this is where I think that is the that is the problem with New Zealand.
I
I
think it
think
was more
as
Fergie did not click as expected.
there were a couple of matches where
Yeah.
we actually bowled well. So
So
that's the
it,
thing. Well, it's not through the tournament there was no standout for them.
And Santner is a containing bowler more than a wicket taker.
Yeah.
So
so,
I think
and one more thing is, even though Rashid, like shout out for Rashid, even though it felt he had an ordinary tournament, but he is the spinner with the
no.
most impact.
Yeah, I think that Sri Lanka again Super 8s makes it more, and also them playing in either Wankhede or Eden, it made that more catches would go out to the fielders where
Uh,
Rashid got
so
his
on that
wickets.
note, because you come back to catches, it's surprisingly India has a higher catching percentage than Sri Lanka. So
Check
India,
on
the
hold.
catching the and this is the sort of real time
In India or India
in
has?
India.
In
In
India.
In India,
India,
in India.
74% were 70. Yeah, overall it was what 75% were catches, and in Sri Lanka it is 62%.
Yeah,
And in
Right?
that 72% catches, how much India did catch or drop?
Like,
India was the
That we'll have
worst,
to
I
do.
think.
I think
yeah,
that's going. But
true.
this might also mean that because India is also going at a higher scoring rate, people are scoring. So death again in death over how many catches, how many of
Yeah,
the wickets resulted in death overs
Yeah,
versus this would be a little
yeah, we
telling.
can, yeah, definitely. But that's the
But
kind of
still,
thing that we can pull immediately.
yep, yeah.
Yeah,
But at the same time, please like, share, and subscribe, and please comment on any of these stats. And if you have any questions or any counterpoints, please state in the comments below.
yeah, yeah. With that, any shout out to anyone else before we wrap this call up?
No,
I
South
don't know
Africa,
what
even
to.
South Africa had 3 bowlers, so that is something in top 10.
I
So
wouldn't. I wouldn't call Janssen as a third.
yeah.
Like if you look at his economy,
yeah.
he's the highest
But
economy over here,
but
and
if
that is.
yeah, I think one
But
more thing is, if you see Rabada, even though I felt he bowled really well on the eye test, but if you see his numbers compared to everybody else, it's not that great.
Yeah,
If you go into the raw data of it,
yeah.
where he didn't have that great of a numbers.
True, true. And yeah, so again, like we said, we hope you enjoyed this kind of video. This was the second episode in Peek Under the Hood series. Keep keep liking us, keep following us. We'll come up with more and more content, such content. And yeah, please tell your mothers and fathers about us because we need all the support that we can get. Thank you.